Caitlin Clark is out, but capitalism is in for women's basketball opinion. The women of the WNBA are putting their faith and energy into free market capitalism. This is a great look for women's sports. Next month will mark 3 years since Russian despot Vladimir Putin took Phoenix Mercury star Brittney Griner hostage, and a week later launched the biggest land war in Europe since World War I. It will also be 3 years since a chorus of analysts, sports writers, and athletes blamed the WNBA and the women's pay gap for Griner's plight. According to their logic, Griner was forced to moonlight in Far-Flung Russia in the off-season to supplement her paltry WNBA salary, thus making her easy prey for the Russian strongman. She was now his captive and bargaining chip. Griner herself wrote in Coming Home, her chronicle of that 10-month ordeal, that the pay gap is why I was in Russia in the first place. Her Mercury teammate, Diana Taurasi, had once put it this way: "We had to go to a communist country to get paid like capitalists, which is so backward to everything that was in the history books in 6th grade." Brittney Griner now loves playing the off-season. My, how times have changed. And for the better. Listen to Brittney Griner just this week talking about moonlighting playing professional basketball in the WNBA off-season to supplement her income. "I felt like something was missing in my off-season anyway. I was used to playing year-round, and then after everything that happened, I kind of felt like there was a void because I should be playing and not really being off. I wanted to go back to work honestly year-round. So I think this is just going to help me stay fresh, stay knocking all the dust off, and just being ready for when the W comes back around." So, what changed? Well, for one, the off-season opportunities have moved to the United States. Today, Griner and other WNBA players could not and would not return to the frigid climes of the former Soviet Union. And two, the women of the WNBA have stopped kicking so hard against the realities of free markets and have instead begun to harness them. WNBA players decided to fix the pay gap. Unhappy with the pay gap between the WNBA and NBA, in which the 2022 base salary for women was $228,000, while the NBA's Steph Curry alone earned $46 million, two of the WNBA's brightest stars have decided to do something about it. In fact, something uniquely capitalist. They're building a business. Nafisa Collier and Brianna Stewart, two of the brightest stars in the WNBA, whose teams Minnesota Lynx and New York Liberty just faced off in the 2024 WNBA Finals, have created a league of their own for the WNBA offseason. Headquartered in Miami, the new unrivaled 3-on-3 league will feature 6 5-person teams that will play an 8-week season. The women went out and recruited investors, including such luminaries as U.S. Women's Soccer World Cup champions Alex Morgan and Megan Rapinoe, former NBA stars Carmelo Anthony and Steve Nash, former Warner Bros. CEO Ann Sarnoff, and former ESPN and Turner presidents John Skipper and David Levy. Players are part owners in the unrivaled league. They went out and recruited top talent from the WNBA by offering them investor equity and ownership stake in the action. And just to show they operate as true capitalists, they put on a full-court press with a reported offer of $1 million, plus to try to entice the WNBA's most marketable star, Caitlin Clark. However, Clark turned them down after playing back-to-back full NCAA and WNBA seasons in less than a year, CBS Sports reported. Nonetheless, the new league is packed with stars like Griner and Stewart, and enthusiasm is high. Want to know why Brittney Griner is so giddy about playing this offseason? She's not just a basketball player, she's an entrepreneur. She's got skin in the game. Skylar Diggins-Smith speaks like an entrepreneur. You hear the same enthusiasm in another WNBA player we know well in Phoenix, Skylar Diggins-Smith, who now plays for the Seattle Storm. Diggins-Smith is in Miami this month, ready to suit up for Unrivaled's Lunar Owls and speaking like an entrepreneur. It's important having some type of a player-led organization where they take the cues from the players and having the opportunity to see us as businesswomen as a whole, Diggins-Smith said on the Storm website. understanding how we see ourselves as brands, and understanding the state of sports, of women's sports in general. Opinion: why Tracy is Phoenix's greatest athlete ever, playing in front of fans. In untraditional markets where the W doesn't have presence, we want to capitalize on that. Diggins Smith takes pride in her so-called hyphenated life, in which she is a businesswoman, fashion icon, designer, executive producer, and now a part owner of a new women's basketball league. There's a lot of things happening.